Alrighty guys, we're going to do a quick Bitcoin video. We're going to go over Bitcoin price action and some bullish news surrounding Bitcoin. We're going to start with this 19 million Bitcoins in total mined, which leaves approximately 2 million Bitcoins to be mined over the next 100 years. And if we, take a look at the reward halving, it's only going to get harder and harder to mine these Bitcoins. And as we've seen with price, it's only going to be, more expensive to get Bitcoin, to accumulate Bitcoin. And when we see these, actors like Do Kwon, Michael Saylor buying up loads of Bitcoin, it doesn't leave enough, nowhere near enough for one per person because there's only 21 million. But then you think about, Do Kwon buying 20,000 BTC. I mean, I think they used about $1 billion so far. I could be wrong, but what happens when they deploy the next $9 billion and they eat up maybe 100,000 plus BTC? What if more corporations? What if more countries? What if more institutions, which we're seeing a huge increase of demand? So when you really think about it, and that doesn't take into consideration the lost Bitcoin, inaccessible Bitcoin, and hacked Bitcoin, that's, lost forever. So 19 million BTC mined. It's literally leaves such a small amount of BTC for the general public. So you want to make sure to get as much as you can. Start stacking sats. So before we jump into the price action, we're kind of just hovering at yearly open. I want to clear above and start making our way past 50,000, start making our way to the $53,000 mark. We'll go over Willy Woo's letter. So you can see here right now, he says, for structural summary, spot buying is now at historic highs, similar to what we have seen in all prior bull markets. Meanwhile, holders added significantly to their holdings, while long-term future markets have been steady, gaining slightly in demand to oppose the bullishness from the influx of demand. BTC USD is now in a strong band of price discovery, so moving past this area onto higher prices is unlikely to be fast. Price expectations, sideways bullish price action for the coming week. And you gotta remember, Bitcoin 2022 is going down right now. We might have some huge announcements. I'm thinking another country adopting Bitcoin, as we saw El Salvador do last year. I'm expecting something huge, and hopefully I'm not let down. So we go back to Willy's letter. I highly recommend this for everybody. I have always recommended Willy's letter, but he's taking a break. So these are could be his last letter, and I'm going to share it. So you can see that demand showing up everywhere. This is huge in terms of exchange net flows, and this is the rate of coins moving off exchanges and moving on to long-term holders. So you can see here, before the dump, we had, what was that, all-time highs in inflows. So people, whales, everybody that are sending Bitcoin to exchanges, that's the inflow. BTC coming into the exchange and most likely selling into stable coins. As you can see, we had that huge sell-off here, while the inflows went to all-time highs, as I can see right here. And then outflows is at almost all-time lows. And as you can see with price action here, price action here, and price action here, we got some pretty big pumps. And you're seeing people buying Bitcoin off exchanges and then removing it onto holder wallets, hardware wallets, or whatever it may be, which is bullish. So love to see that. And while BTC price has been consolidating below 48K, we have seen holders taking the opportunity to add significantly to their holdings. Meanwhile, demand on future markets remains steady with a slight climb. So you can see future markets kind of just jumped up there. Holders moving, they're stacking sats, you can't deny that, while price is kind of just lagging right here in this specific zone. And then this is the last thing. Below is an experimental heat map that he's been working on. It displays a composite of fundamental demands in the market using a mix of signal processing and algorithmic filtering. It should assist you to visualize the demands we are now experiencing in the market compared to past regions. So this is where we are right here. And what this actually reminds me of, you can kind of see it here, the heat wave. But more so here, how you can see heavy amounts of blue and action, and you can kind of see that here, and then we kind of just explode in price. So I'm hoping we get something similar to here instead of like this, where we just kind of rally up into new all-time highs, and just keep exploding. That would be awesome. That's pretty much it for Willie's newsletter. He's going to be stopping that next month, I believe, and we'll keep going over some Bitcoin news. Bitcoin could reach $1.3 million in this scenario. So they made a scenario where was it? If gold becomes the only reserve asset, the metal's implied price calculated through Dividend Global Money (MO) by Global in Reserves is $31,000 per ounce on average for countries with the largest gold holdings. If calculated using M2, gold's implied price could reach $105,000 per ounce. That's nuts. And then this is where the magic happens. As Bitcoin has a supply of $21 million coins, it is much closer to gold than other cryptocurrencies. The reported note that crypto could reach a price of $1.3 million calculated using the MO and may top 4.8 mil, so $5 million approximately using the M2, according to analysts. And as of right now, we're trading at $46,000 approximately. So, I mean, you can't get any more bullish price predictions than $5 million for Bitcoin. Did they give a timeline? I don't think so. But it says Bitcoin appears to have a much higher upside than gold, though the latter is the more straightforward initial response by central bankers in particular, until that changes. And we can see that the fear and greed index last month, extreme fear, I think that may have dropped, or maybe this was the lowest, 22. Nonetheless, we are seeing greed this week or last week, and now it is neutral. We're right in the middle. Hopefully we can just keep shooting upwards. And it's just crazy how quick the sentiment of a market changes. Literally in a day, the narrative can change, and now we're, I think, more bullish than bearish, and you can see we're at 52, so just above the medium. And let us go here, which I saw this tweet from this huge crypto Twitter account, TechDev, and it's Bitcoin in a rare 5-day volatility squeeze, only the third in the last 5 years. That's huge. Price above this neutral line and RSI above 50. Higher probability this resolves to the upside. So if we take a look, you can see RSI below 50 and below neutral. That was the signal. We got that huge dump after this descending triangle played out in 2018. It was crazy watching that happen live. And then you saw above neutral and the 50 above RSI, which gave us that squeeze to the upside. And now we're seeing something similar. We're seeing the RSI above 50 and above neutral. So are we going to get a pump like this? And keep in consideration, this has only happened in the last 5 years. 3 times. So are we going to get a solid signal and push from this? I'm looking forward to seeing if this works. Now let's hop back to the Bitcoin chart, and just to do some, quick analysis, we are holding above the moving averages. We'll start on the weekly. So on the weekly, okay, that's gonna need to load up. We have been bullish. As this is a large continuation pattern, in my opinion. We had this huge move to the upside, and if we move over to the 2 weeks, you can see that it was pretty much just green bars. Literally, we just kept moving upwards from pretty much $20,000, or you could say $11,000. We had that little hiccup at all-time high, but we pretty much started shooting from $10,000 all the way to $65,000 without, having some sort of accumulation or consolidation phase, which is kind of what we're playing out right here. And you can see that this could go up, go on for longer and longer till we decide a direction, or we could whipsaw to the bottom and then shoot upwards. But what I'm trying to say is, after the large move to the upside, this is kind of expected. I mean, maybe we're expecting Bitcoin to go to the $100,000 to the $200,000 before taking a large breather like this. But on the weekly, on the monthly, we are still holding this uptrend. And on smaller time frames, we lost it for a bit. We lost it, but now the daily's in an uptrend, the weekly's in an uptrend, the monthly's in an uptrend, the yearly's in an uptrend. So all the time frames are lining up. Some of the signals that I'm looking on the weekly, like the 4 and 9 buy, we got right here, we got right here, and we got right here. So I am more bullish on Bitcoin than bearish. I know we're still in a tight spot, and right here as well. Also, I'm looking that we actually regained the weekly moving average right here as well. So we broke above it. We kind of look like we retested it here, and now we're retesting that ascending triangle resistance. The huge pattern we broke out here. And as long as we stay above that, I am bullish. As long as we stay above these, this moving average resistance and this moving average, or not the moving average, the ascending triangle resistance, and if we stay above this moving average, we're soon enough going to get the daily golden cross with the 50 and the 100. We also got the 4 and 9 cross here, which would give you an awesome buying signal at $39,000. But using the triangle, as we did in previous videos, using the triangle and our Fibonacci, that gave us a price zone, the price target of $53,000. And that's what I'm sticking with as long as we hold, yeah, $53,000 is perfect with my fibs. And then if we did the base of the triangle right here, it's almost in line with the price. I'm also, and if we use the dollar amount, it's more closer to 53,000 than the $58,000. But I'm expecting Bitcoin to kind of come between this region and this region for my price target before, you know, it comes back down to maybe retest this area right here, and then we keep working our way back up. The first thing that we need to do is we need to break our local high, so we need to break this right here, and then I'm pretty sure we'll just keep shooting up in price. So once we break the 48,200 zone, I'm expecting us to reach $53,000. And worst case scenario, we break back down under the moving average and the turned resistance into support, and then I would be looking for a retest here for the lows to be, you know, reached again, maybe lower lows for these lows to be invalidated, and ultimately I'm looking for this to hold because this was the prior higher low. So if we break down and then 40 grand breaks down, I would, you know how I said I was overly more bullish than bearish, I would be more bearish than bullish if that was to happen. So Bitcoin is still looking good. It's with Willie Woo's letter, we're seeing huge amounts of outflow from exchanges and expecting a bullish week. I will be at Bitcoin 2022. That's why I'm doing these quick videos. We're official media partners. We're going to try and get as much content as we can. So let me know if you're at, you know, Miami at the event, or let me know if you want to say anything specific. Put your comments below. Hit the like, subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.